Today's media call is going to feature Ben Henderson, the UFC lightweight champion, challenger Nate Diaz, former two-division UFC champion BJ Penn, and rising welterweight star Rory MacDonald. Also on the call will be UFC President Dana White, and joining us shortly will be Fox Sports Media Group President Eric Shanks. At this time, I'll turn it over to Dana.
Good morning, everybody. Sorry we're late. We're trying to track down Shogun and Gustafsson, so they'll pop in here in any moment, we hope. Who's got the first question?
We will go first to Neil Davidson of the Canadian Press.
Yes, thank you. My question is to BJ, and I have a quick follow-up after that. It's been said that you had expressed the interest in fighting Rory MacDonald. Can you tell us what convinced you to come back to fighting after you seem to have called it quits in the cage, and why was MacDonald the opponent you wanted?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Neil?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. I was just kind of hanging out. I started to itch that I wanted to fight again. Better than staying home, sitting on the couch, and I realized I can't do this forever, so I might as well make the most of it I can. And as far as fighting with Rory, I think he's a great opponent. He's an up and comer. He's one of the top guys. Everybody says he's going to be a champion soon. So and ending up fighting with somebody like Rory, it wasn't a tough decision. And then I've said in a couple other interviews, I'd like to have a fight with Team TriStar again. They're a great team. They've got a lot of champions in their club, and I just think it's a great fight all around.
And if I could just follow up, BJ, there was a Twitter exchange between you and Rory where you responded to a picture of him and you made reference to acne on his back. You've asked him to take the random drug tests. Do you feel that he's doing something he shouldn't?
I'm not going to sit here and get into that with everybody right now. I'm sure there are people in all sports that bend the rules, but I'm not going to sit here and point the finger. But as far as the doping and that's concerned, I realize that it's a painstaking thing for the UFC, and I don't want to put them through that. They've got their own way that they take care of their things. But I wanted to do if I was going to make a comeback, I want to make it as safe as I can for when I step in the ring, and that's all that this was about. I'm not pointing the finger. I'm not saying, Rory, you do steroids or anything like that. It has nothing to do with any of that. I'm just protecting my own butt.
And a question for BJ Penn. BJ, you talked about, why you came back and the reason for, making your return. But do you have any long-term goals? Is it all based on this fight and then you'll kind of see the future after that? Because I know you've always been a guy that kind of takes things one fight at a time. Is it the same approach with this one, or do you feel like, you've kind of got long-term plans for more than just this fight?
Yeah, I'm just focusing on this fight. I got no more plans after this. And once I do have any plan, I'll call Dana and we'll talk from that point. But I got no plans after December 8th. My whole life is just into that.
Hey, BJ, a lot of talk these days about super fights and being, an elder statesman of the sport, somebody who's been around as long as you have. Do you think super fights are good or bad for the UFC?
I think super fights are great. I think it causes a lot of hype, and Dana knows that. Dana knows that super fights are one of the. Look at the name. Look at the name itself. Super fight. It's awesome. It's what this sport is about. It's what this sport was built on. Get the two best fighters put them in the ring, and I got to give it to Dana White. He has done that every time. He doesn't let no Mayweather-Pacquiao situations ever happen. He's the man. Dana White, you're the man.
All right, thanks, guys. I concur, Dana.
Back, BJ.
Later, guys.
My first question for BJ Penn, please. BJ, UFC, you draw a lot of different reactions from fans, from people who watch. You have a very loyal fan base, people who believe in you. You also have people who doubt what you can do at this stage of your career. And I guess there's sort of a consensus that we don't really know what to expect from you after a little bit of time off. What do you expect out of yourself on December the 8th?
I really expect a lot out of myself on December 8th. I got back together with my old trainer that trained me for the Jens Pulver, Joe Stevenson, and Sean Shirk fight. We took my belly off. I think the best thing for me was the fight getting postponed and pushed back. I started this training camp at probably 40% body fat, and I was just going to get into shape a little, go there and give it my best effort. But as things started going on, Rory ended up pulling out 10 weeks before the last fight, and he was saying that he saw me, I looked fat, and a bunch of different things, that he'll probably end up killing me in the ring. That really lit a fire under my butt, and I think I'm down under 10% now, and I'm ready to go. I'm expecting the best BJ Penn that I've ever seen. So we'll just see how this all plays out.
Do you feel like you needed someone to light a fire under you, that you needed some sort of challenge to come from somebody like this, whether it was just those sorts of words or whatever? And if so, why? Why did you need that to kind of get yourself going again?
Fighting, it's still not a sport for me. I don't know if I should be saying that on a conference call. Fighting is still a fight for me. It has always been. I'm not a great athlete that can play any sport. I can't do much different sports. But one thing I could always do, I could always fight back. And with that said, I go into the fight. This is a fight. This isn't putting baskets in a hole, a ball in a hole. This has always been a fight for me, and I just love it when it's that way. I love it when my opponent says he's fat, I'll end up killing him. He's nothing, this and that, and it's just all wonderful. I couldn't ask for anything more.
So do you feel like you sort of got your old mentality back in the sense of someone kind of challenging you needing to step up?
I never lost my old mentality, actually. I think years I lost drive to prepare properly, but I won't be able to do this for the rest of my life, and I want to give it I want to give it a good shot, with this fight coming up.
And you mentioned, the super fights before and how good they were for the sport. When you fought George in the super fight, you were obviously the smaller man in that fight. Even though George is a smaller man, do you think that he sort of owes it to the sport to take the fight against Anderson?
That fight, that's on George himself, but everybody on this phone call knows what BJ would do.
I'm sorry, you said everybody on the phone call knows what BJ would do?
Yeah, you know what I would do if Dana called me and said to fight the champion above. You know what I would do.
Okay.
Hey, everybody. You said Alex is not on the call yet. He didn't get on, right?
No, we tried to get him, we couldn't find him.
Okay. All right. Thanks. Well, then, my question is for BJ, and maybe you touched on this a little bit, but just that I wonder how much you think about your legacy. I know you would fight anybody at any time, basically what you were just saying about if Dana called for you to fight the next champ up. I'm just curious. People speak of you in such high regard, and I wonder if that even factors into what you do and the decisions you make. Just curious how you respond to all that adoration you get from the fans.
You know what? I actually texted Dana a couple months ago, and I told Dana, I said, Dana, I watch all these interviews and all these people talking, and no one says my name when they talk about the greatest fighters anymore. And I really don't like that. It really bothers me. And I know it's my fault. I know I'm the reason why people don't talk about me when they talk about GSP or Anderson Silva. My name was always in the mix. It's never in the mix anymore. And I told Dana I got a real problem with that. And that was actually a big part of my motivation to come back and strong and do a good fight here on December 8th. As far as you talking about people saying they admire me and different things, I want to thank all those people. Even Benson Henderson always comes up and praises me for what I've done over the years and gives me kind words. But everything is current. I'm a glass half empty kind of guy. Everything is current, and I don't want to just be known. Oh, he was good back in the day. I want to be known as one of the best. Also, with that said, I don't want to sit here and sound like I want more admiration because you just said a lot of people admire me. But I still think I have some left to accomplish.
And then just one more. The prelims for this card, is they're going to air on FX after the Facebook prelims. That's the first time in the past they've been on Fuel. Will that be the norm for all the big Fox shows now?
Yeah, we think so. The thinking there is obviously FX is in a lot more homes than Fuel, and it's just it's a funnel. The more people you have watching the prelims and telling them where to catch the fight, the bigger the fight's going to be. And, we wanted to do it with this one and get that funnel as big as possible.
Thank you.
Sure.